But for now, I get the joy and honor of introducing Ioana from Squars. She's going to tell you more about her background, how she got here, and give you guys a session. And also, if you're not aware, they're actually one of our sponsors for the, what did you guys sponsor? You say the coffee?
Coffee.
Awesome. All right, guys, thanks a lot, and let's make her feel real welcome, and you guys have a good time.
Thank you, Sonia. Hi, everyone. I'm Ioana, and I'm brand strategist at Squars, the web AR all-in-one platform for creating, viewing, and sharing augmented reality content. And as brand strategist, my main mission at Squars is to build the brand and tell its story to the right audience. That's the romantic side of it, of course. What I also do is turn that story into campaigns and subsequently into ads. I have a background in advertising, and I've worked for both independent studios as well as global advertising powerhouses like Leo Burnett. And so far in my life, both as a bystander and as an advertiser, I have seen many bad ads. Let's face it, we've all seen them. Sometimes these ads were even my own. Most of the times they were someone else's, but almost every time I could tell why they suck. Which brings me to today's topic, why advertising with AR sucks. I will try to find answers to this question today, but I would also like to start a conversation with you in the audience. So, I have my clicker here, yes. First, why is it important to answer this question today? I believe no one here is a stranger from the rise and the so-called fall, or whatever it is, of the metaverse, and all the arguments pro and against investing in technologies related to the metaverse. But what I want to look at today is the promise of immersive storytelling. We've all heard it. We've all been promised something. Immersive storytelling is the new storytelling. It's personable, it's memorable, it's exciting, it's engaging, it's everything. And especially for brands, the promise is that immersive storytelling will capture audiences in a new and exciting way. Customers will dive into a product story deeply. They will explore different scenarios, interact with brand assets, have a meaningful shopping experience, and so on. Using immersive technologies, brands will be able to stand out in a crowded market. Sounds like a fairy tale for brands, right? But is it really so? While I do understand where the promise comes from, and where I have a problem is in the execution. I mean, we've all been there, right? We scan the QR code, we want to be immersed in an experience, but something just is loading too slow, or it's a bit buggy, or you don't know where to click, you don't know where to look. Things are a bit alien. It's anything but immersive. So let's look at a few bad examples and see where the problem is. And to find answers to this problem, I've also asked fellow advertisers and marketers to see where they have issues. So let's jump right into the findings. The first thing that I've discovered when asking advertisers and marketers why they, or if they use augmented reality in their campaigns, is that the perception is that the technology is too complicated and they don't have the skills, they don't have the know-how, and they don't even know where to start. And it's true, with every new technology, people are fearful that they don't own the skills, the technology is complicated, and that they lose control if specialists take over. Except, of course, generative AI, because everyone is now an expert in generative AI. But back to augmented reality. I actually have a funny story here. I've also worked in game design, designing games for global brands like Red Bull or BMW. And, but this project that I'm thinking of was an employer branding project for a German engineering company. And our brief was to translate the company's values into an exciting game for youth. And our idea was to create an escape room type game where people could interact with the company values and make it memorable and exciting for youth. And part of this game, part of the puzzle, so in case you're not familiar with escape room games, you have to uncover different hidden puzzles in a limited amount of time in order to escape the room. And we wanted to hide some clues in the walls of the van. And we thought AR seems like the perfect technology for this. So let's propose it and let's do it. But when it came down to it, actually, and we had a deadline to stick to, we realized we didn't even know where to start. We didn't know where to look and what tools to use. And what we did in the end was to create a 360 image, recreating the physical space of the van with the added clues. So this was our simple solution when, in fact, as you can imagine, it was not simple at all because we had to calibrate this image every time with the physical space, and with every gameplay, we had to reset it. So it was not simple. So the lesson here is that what we did was basically fake AR because we just didn't know what to use and what tools were out there. So it seems like technology is a problem, and especially nowadays, that's a worry because everything is so intuitive. So people don't really have so much time and so many resources to learn how to use new tools. So that's something to worry. What else is there to worry about? My second finding when talking to advertisers and marketers was that they do propose AR in their pitches to clients because it's new and exciting, but most of the time, it is just a nice to have in a slide deck. And even if it gets proposed as even if it gets accepted as an idea, it still has the quality of an afterthought. And one example I have here is from a friend of mine, and they worked on a global beverage brand who did a full launch in the metaverse. And part of this launch was to recreate their bottle in 3D so that people can place it in their environments, on their tables, on bars, on wherever they were. But when I asked, okay, so what happened, the problem was that it was difficult to track exactly what people did. How many people placed it in the environments? Did they interact with it? How much time did they spend with it? What exactly happened? And so I wanted to try to look to find, okay, but where is actually the problem? And what I found is that advertisers don't trust that AR or XR in general brings results. And that is why they don't treat it as a channel. They just put it in a slide deck because it's nice to have, but it's not a long-term solution. So it's true. It's very difficult to measure results in immersive technologies, but advertisers and marketers need to measure the results. They need to measure and optimize. They need to understand how an audience experiences content and how that experience further translates into conversion. Advertisers and marketers need the data. And my bet is that if in 5 years, if immersive tech solution providers solve the problem of lack of trust in results, that agencies, marketing departments, they will have dedicated XR teams the same way they were building dedicated social media teams and dedicated digital marketing teams 10 to 15 years ago. And it will no longer be a nice to have in a slide deck. And it will be, in 5 years, the XR component in advertising and marketing will be a must-have, not a nice-to-have. But there's still a journey ahead. And there's one more little thing on the way. I mean, how often have we heard this? Am I right? And this is particularly easy to dismiss because when we look at the examples that are out there, they are usually from big brands with visibly healthy budgets. But what about the small businesses? What about the independent creators? They are understandably skeptical, thinking that XR is only for the big guns with specialized teams and expensive technology and fat media budgets. But does that mean that these AR underdogs don't have access to immersive storytelling? And what I actually like about small businesses, I think that they are always the ones who are really trying to make their money worth and are really trying to find the hacks. And they are the ones who brought digital marketing to the heights it is at today. But if everything seems so luxurious, what does that mean for XR? So where do we go from here? Let's have a look at what we've found so far, what the obstacles are so far. Number one, advertisers think that they don't have the skills. And like me, they might end up faking AR, which is not an easy solution. Secondly, AR is still a nice to have in a slide deck because they don't trust it brings results. And finally, there is the perception that everything with AR or XR in general means high investment and expensive technology. In other words, the issues are the tech, lack of trust in results, and high costs. But if we look at the advertising landscape from, again, 10 to 15 years ago, it was the same with digital marketing, with new channels, with social media. And just as it was back then, now there are a few brands who are really getting it right and have really successful use cases, but most brands are on the outs. However, there's no missed train, there's no need for FOMO. I think we'll get there. Understanding these issues helps us finding the solutions. So let's simplify tech, let's measure results, and let's scale costs. That is what we're doing at Squares. We want people to learn the skills, and we want technology to be easy to use and to be smoothly integrated into the workflow of advertisers. Our platform is web-based, completely web-based, so there's no need for app. It is easy to use. We are focusing our efforts also on creating collaboration features, feedback features, so that people can work together as a team and learn together. And for designers, creatives, writers, anyone can create an AR experience with no coding skills. So I created my first AR experience is my second day at Squares, and I have no coding skills, believe me. And for the users, it's, again, very accessible because they don't need to download any app. Secondly, we've seen how important it is to measure results and to build trust in AR. So our aim is to treat AR, is for advertisers to treat AR as a channel and show them metrics. So we've built an analytics dashboard where advertisers and marketers can see the results, they can measure and optimize their AR campaigns. And we also have a regular reporting tool, and we're constantly building this tool up. We want to also learn from advertisers and marketers what they need, what kind of insights they need from their audience, so that we can support them and build trust in AR. And lastly, we don't think XR, or specifically AR, is just for the big brands. We want to serve everyone, from explorers, AR enthusiasts who just want to quickly create their first AR experience, to freelancers, small agencies, studios, all the way up to enterprises. So that's why we've tailored our product to independent needs. And it's very accessible, believe me. So what does that mean? Does it mean that if we overcome the 3 obstacles, so we simplify technology, we measure results, and we scale costs, do we believe now in the promise of immersive storytelling? Will advertising with augmented reality no longer suck? I believe that the power of good advertising and impactful storytelling still lies in the creative idea. And that creative idea still is in the hands or minds or souls of advertisers, of creatives, of copywriters, designers, creatives all over the world. Our aim is to simplify the execution of a creative idea, no matter how complex it is. And that is how we build our product, for an easy execution. So, we talk the talk, but do we walk the walk? Here I have 2 examples of how we advertise ourselves, and maybe you've already seen them if you were at our booth or if you had coffee yesterday. So the first one is Cloud AR. It's based on the cloud recognition technology. So basically, it provides a seamless journey for the user. It can scan, so you can scan one time and then augment many images. So for example, on a magazine, you can scan the cover and then go through it and have every other image in the magazine augmented without needing to scan again. And here we actually have a series of postcards with art from Seoul, and they are actually very nice, so I invite you to discover them at our booth. And the second example is Shape Target. So I hope you like coffee, and I hope you had coffee yesterday. But we still have, anyway, more cups at our booth. So you might be familiar with augmenting QR codes or images, but what we did here is actually augment the 3D shape, so the shape of the cup, and this is done especially for the AWE, and all our technology is built in-house. So this is very fresh from our labs, and I invite you to come and experience it yourself because it's much nicer than just showing you a video. And yeah, as I said, we are at booth 742, and we have a lot of nice examples. And yeah, my whole team is there, so we want to talk to you and also understand the needs, what are you looking for. And we also want you to try the platform, of course. So it's free to sign up, but if you want to get any paid plans from the ones that we have, with this coupon code, you get 1 month for free. And if nothing has convinced you so far, we also have the cherry on the cake is the ice cream in the sandwich. We actually have ice cream sandwiches at our booth. So if you want a sweet little treat, come by and we'll treat you with some ice cream. And that was it. So booth number 742, remember, and come by. And I would also like to understand, like, if you have bad examples of advertising with AR, or good examples, or other arguments, or if you have any other questions. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Oh,
You do? Yes, yes. If you could just stand up and speak loudly, please.
Hi.
What type of data do you think is missing to provide to those advertisers? Because it seems to me that AR offers very rich data source. What do you hear they're looking for to build that trust?
So the question is, what type of data would advertisers need to find trust in augmented reality, which is a very good question. And what we are providing now the page views, the view duration, clicks, users, how many users are interacting. But I think the more data, the better, obviously, to build that trust. Of course, I know it's not easy either to be overwhelmed with data. So that's why it's also important to create reports and to make that data actionable and not just a bunch of numbers. So that's what we are trying to build. And we are also trying to understand what advertisers need from our platform, or in general from an AR campaign, so that we can optimize our product as well.
Is there any more questions? Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful.